Greetings, everyone. I got this question from my friend Mike about Avengers. He wants to check out Avengers Infinity War and he wants to get prepped for Endgame, but he hasn't seen all the Marvel Cinematic Universe films. And he's like, Jimmy, you gotta help me. What am I gonna watch? I gotta get ready for this. Well, Mike, fear not, buddy. I got your back. Here we go. We're gonna get you all prepped up for Endgame. Let's do it. Okay, so let's lay a few kind of ground rules here, kind of give you a little bit of a backstory as to what's going on. So, Mike, if I remember this correctly, what you'd said is that you've seen both Iron Man 1 and 2, Captain America, The Incredible Hulk, Thor, and Avengers 1 and 2. So you have a pretty good basis for what we're working with here. The easy answer to this question, for a lot of people, will be just watch all of them. That's a lot of movies. That's like 20 movies. I could see where that would be hard to do to get ready for this. If you want to go with like the most basic, and still be kind of confused route, it would be like watch Avengers 1, 2, Infinity War, and Endgame. Like that would be very basic and you're going to lose a lot. So today, I'm going to tell you the things you should see, and I'm going to kind of tell you the ones you can skip as well. Let's start with the ones you can skip, so that way you don't have to worry about it as much. Now again, these are what I consider to be non-essential. What does that mean? These mean that they don't typically feature one of the Infinity Stones, and they also don't really feature anything insofar as characters interacting in a major way with other characters, within the MCU. They might just have kind of self-contained stories, and these are those movies. I'm looking at Ant-Man 1 and 2, or Ant-Man and the Wasp, Spider-Man Homecoming, Iron Man 3, and Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Now, I'm not saying those movies are bad. They're all pretty good, except a lot of people don't like Iron Man 3. Whatever. But for the most part, these movies are pretty self-contained. They don't really require you to, watch them to kind of get everything out of these other ones. Especially with the Ant-Man films, you get to know a lot about Scott and his abilities and the backstory with Hank and, Hope and all that stuff. But it's kind of just fun on the side. Spider-Man Homecoming purposefully was a very small film. It doesn't really do anything super insane or super crazy. It does feature Tony Stark, but at the same time, it's not going to be something that you really need to see if you have seen Civil War. But we'll get to that in just a second. Iron Man 3, a lot of people consider it to be a throwaway movie. It's fine. It kind of deals with a little bit of the aftermath of the first Avengers film with Tony's PTSD, which is kind of interesting, but a lackluster villain and no real ramifications going forward make it one that you could probably skip. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, while a lot of people did enjoy it, I think I gave it a 9 out of 10 at the time, which probably was a little high, but I stand by it, though. I stand by it. It's more of a story about Peter figuring out more about his family, Gamora dealing with her family, stuff like that. Again, it does kind of deal on a cosmic scale, but it doesn't really seem to have a ripple effect for the rest of the MCU right now that we know. There's kind of some hints at the end towards something else, but not essential at this moment. Let's talk about the ones you should see. Now, I'm going to go over the first few ones here that actually feature one of the Infinity Stones, because these Infinity Stones are key. They are clutch, and they are kind of the basis for most all of the stuff that the MCU has been leading up to. You've probably seen a few of these, Mike, you saw them in Avengers 1 and 2, and those are the Space and the Mind Stone, the Space Stone, the Tesseract, that square, that cube thing, and then the Mind Stone, that Loki's scepter, and then you also see that in Vision's head. I believe that's the Mind Stone. Forgive me in advance if I mess up some of these names. So here are the ones that I would consider you probably should see these. These aren't the complete essential ones. We will get to those in just a second. So, these are the ones you should see. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 has that. Thor 2 and 3, so Thor the Dark World and Thor Ragnarok, and Doctor Strange. Those ones all have an Infinity Stone. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, you have the Power Stone. You also get to see Thanos in a bigger way than you'd ever seen him before. But if you're going to watch Infinity War, you're going to get a new dose of Thanos in a way that none of us had ever really seen him. So that's cool too. And then in Thor the Dark World, that's the one that a lot of people hate, but it does feature an Infinity Stone. So if that's something that really means a lot to you, the Reality Stone is in that one. You might want to check it out. Not the greatest film, but I would say Chris Hemsworth and Tom Hiddleston's performances together are good enough for at least one watch through. It's fine. Most of the human cast in that thing, besides the Asgardians, it's just ugh. But it's something you should consider if you're gonna, if you want to get into this and know what all the stones are capable of doing, more or less. Lastly, Doctor Strange. That one deals with the Eye of Agamotto, or the Time Stone, which is crucial, and I would argue probably the most powerful stone, but we have to still see what the Soul Gem or Soul Stone can do. But that's one that you should probably check out as well, and he's become a major player, especially in Infinity War. You're going to be pretty confused if you don't see Doctor Strange. You'll be like, who is that guy? He's a big deal, along with Wong, his kind of buddy and assistant. Other ones you should probably see if you're going to get ready to watch Infinity War. Black Panther is another big one. It's a great film, and while it doesn't have to deal with any of the Infinity Stones, it is one of the major settings in Infinity War, and it's one of those things that's going to be a major player, Wakanda, going forward in the MCU. The country, this hidden, isolated village of Wakanda, this kind of super, Afrofuturism, this special technology, which is the vibranium that you find in Captain America's shield, can be used for a little bit more than just deflecting bullets and whatnot. So check out Black Panther. That's one of those ones you probably really should see. I put Captain America Winter Soldier and Captain America Civil War on here. Now, I don't think Captain America Winter Soldier is as important as Civil War. The problem is with Captain America Civil War is that it shows a fracturing of the team and helps figure out kind of the setup for Infinity War as why the team isn't working together. And the reason that happens is because of Captain America Winter Soldier, and that's kind of like the whole fighting point is that the Winter Soldier did something really bad, and they have to deal with that in Civil War. So I'd recommend you see those two together. They're really good films. They're some of my personal favorites, so I can easily recommend them. And it's actually where the Russo brothers kind of got their start. They started with Winter Soldier, then they went and did Civil War, and now they're doing these two Avengers films. So you can kind of see the trajectory. So if you like those films, you're probably really going to like Infinity War and hopefully Endgame. Here's hoping, please. The last one I put on here for now is Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel's kind of in an interesting space because it takes place in 1995, so it takes place decades before, but you might be a little confused to see Carol Danvers showing up in Endgame and thinking, okay, who is she and where has she been and what can she do? Her power is actually directly tied to one of the Infinity Stones, it seems like, so that might be a big thing to consider going forward. You don't necessarily need to run out and see it because it's come out right now, and you might not have the chance or the budget or whatever else or the time to go out to a movie theater to see this before Endgame rolls around. It's one of those ones that you probably should see. So again, let's go over these quickly. The skippable ones, I'd say skip Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp, Iron Man 3, Spider-Man Homecoming, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. The ones you should see, the ones that contain the Infinity Stones, ones that are actually pretty crucial, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, Thor the Dark World, and Doctor Strange. Thor Ragnarok, which is the third one, kind of sets up and leads directly into Infinity War, so it might be nice to watch that one too, just to kind of see the players and what's going on over there. I would recommend that as well. But Black Panther, I think, is a big deal. Captain America Civil War is also huge, but you kind of have to watch Winter Soldier to appreciate that. And also, lastly, Captain Marvel. She's kind of a big deal, and I think she's going to be a really big deal moving forward with the MCU, so I checked that one out too. Again, that's kind of a lot. I mean, right there, we're looking at, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 movies that you haven't seen yet, Mike, but at the same time, those are the ones I would recommend you trying to check out at least. Again, the ones with the Infinity Stones, like I mentioned before, those are the ones I'd put a priority on, along with probably Black Panther, because a lot of Infinity War has to deal with the country of Wakanda. And it's really nice to know that place and those players before you get there, as opposed to thinking what's going on? And a lot of the audio and visual cues you're going to get in Infinity War while we're kind of jumping around from multiple plot lines will actually be tied directly to musical cues, that you've gotten from those films. So you'll actually hear a song or something or an image and be like, oh, I know where we're going. So, and it just kind of fills you with a little bit of excitement and joy, I think. At least it does for me. So yeah, there you go. That should pretty much cover it for now. Again, you might be able to watch this video and might be able to offer up some better information to Mike, but he wrote in about this, and I'm happy to do this for people who want it. I'm sure some people out there are going to say, how dare you say you should skip Spider-Man Homecoming or something. There'll be videos in there that people will be like, you shouldn't skip this one. Again, the easiest answer is to say, watch all of them, but if you've already seen a handful of these and you just kind of want to get ready for this next one and do the essentials, those are the essentials. That's the essentials. One last time. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Black Panther. Thor 2 and 3, Cap 2 and 3, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, which again, Thor, The Dark World, I know people don't like it, and Thor Ragnarok, I don't really like it, and then Cap, Winter Soldier, Cap, Civil War. But the nice thing is that out of all these movies, none of them, for me, were ever below like a 6 out of 10. They weren't like, they were kind of like Dark World or Incredible Hulk might be kind of like pseudo-disappointing. But you've seen the big Avengers ones, you know about Iron Man, you know about Hulk and Thor and Cap, so like you know the basis of the team, but the team is built out a lot. So that's probably why you feel really confused just walking into Infinity War, seeing all these faces, like who are all these people? So yes, but please, guys, if you ever have a question like this, send it in and I will do a video about it. That's so much fun for me. I hope this is helpful, especially to Mike, because he's the guy we care about most in this scenario. So thank you, Mike. Mike also runs our website, so if you want to go over to gocriticalreviews.com, you can go check out all of our stuff over there, and we're going to start to get some actual written articles up there as well soon. So thank you guys so much for stopping by today. If you want to support the show, we have a Spreadshirt, we have a Patreon. Tell some people about us. That'd be wonderful. We'd appreciate it. Either way, until next time, just remember to adapt and overcome.